Welcome to Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show we have a talk with Linux projects such as a distribution, desktop environment, or application. We also chat about the news or any variety of topics from the community. Anything that's Linux tech and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, a Linux fitness and vintage tech enthusiast with an almost unhealthy obsession with the OpenSUSE project. And with me today, I've got a fantastic panel of people on this Linux Saloon Early Edition. I've got Texaco, Zeb, Eris, Bit Shady, and Mike. Oh, also Dale hopped in. So welcome all. I hope you are doing wonderful.
I am indeed.
Hello.
Definitely very good.
Fantastic. Good to hear. So good to see you guys while the sun is still up. So that's nice. Oh, and Penguin, he jumped in. You know, you could hear the doors creaking as he's kind of snuck in on the back. And he's you look like you're hiding.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mute my. That's my chair, actually.
No.
And half of him was coming in. The other half, I think, is in the belly of the soldier behind him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that a Halo thing?
I gotta fix that. Actually, it's AI generated, but it looks like Halo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, Halo.
Oh, well, fun. So, if you'd be so kind and hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. Better yet, even join the Discord voice chat here and provide your voice input on the topics and help me to talk less. So also you can join our Discord and Telegram groups to keep the conversation rolling throughout the week. Got a fantastic group of people that are chatting away all week long. And also be sure to do the straw poll. I just had an idea for a straw poll today. I did it. We probably won't talk about the results of the straw poll because I just launched it. But it is how rollback features for your operating system. How important do you think that is? We'll talk about it tonight, or maybe we'll touch on it later. But that's what that is. So you can do that. Typicallink.com/polls. Like literally, I just thought about it today while I was sitting in the hospital. Not for me, but anyway. But first, when we have this, I should say. We have a topic. It's kind of an open topic of any kind of sort of whatevers, anything that's Linux tech and open source. But I want to talk about Zeb. He looks like he found the perfect Linux distribution. So Zeb, what do you got?
Well, I think you're trying to upsell that a bit there, Nate.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's perfect, but where it is really, really good, it's the first, and I'm going to call it a Ubuntu. And I'll explain to you why, because I don't know what to call it. But it was the first Ubuntu 26.04 that installed, opened up, ran everything perfectly, rebooted, and I've got everything up and running. Not as I'd 100% like it, because it's, on Ubuntu and it's Wayland, and we won't go down all that road. So 26.04, and it's actually called Quark OS, Quark OS. And it's been made by the people of Q4 OS, who do some weird things with their distros and Trinity and Kubuntu and all sorts of bits and pieces. So I installed this thinking I was getting a Kubuntu with their little bits and tricks, because I've liked Q4 OS in the past. It's nice and simple and it just works. And then when I was looking into it, I'm like, what are these hard disks that I'm looking at? I've got one that says root, and that's my Cache OS install. I've got 2 or 3 that I use when I'm on Windows, and then I've got something called Ubuntu. And I'm thinking, but I'm on KDE. What have you done? So I started doing some investigation, and apparently what they've done is they've taken a Ubuntu base, removed every single dependency that they have to snaps. So this is a completely snaps-free version of 26.04, and then they slapped a KDE desktop on top of it. So sounds really strange, sounds really Frankenstein, but it works, and it works really well. And from what I can remember of KDE and Ubuntu and all the rest of them in the old days, it seems quicker than the rest. Now, whether that's because it's had snaps taken out or whether because Q4 OS have done some other magic somewhere. So what do I call this? Clubuntu? because it's KDE with Ubuntu. I don't know, but it's really, really good. You guys should go and check it out. Quark OS. And then maybe somebody more technical can tell me why they shouldn't have taken snaps out and what other magicry have they done in the background to make it feel quick. So that's what I've been playing with this week. And I'm here live tonight on Quark OS. I even managed to get my virtual camera in OBS working so I could have my new webcam that I've got in 4K mode, because for some reason Linux only picks it up as 1080p. So yeah, all good, all pleased, working well.
That sounds cool.
You're muted,
even
Nate.
though I am.
No, you're not.
Nate.
Oh, Nate.
No,
Oh.
No, you're
Go
not. No,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead, chat away, Penguin.
I was just gonna say this looks cool. I probably will check it out, but I probably won't use it as my main line because I do depend on snaps a little bit. My video editor and a couple things are all just the snaps version because I need the latest versions. So, but the reason why it's probably quicker is probably because it is missing snaps. Because snaps initially when you load your distro, it'll mount all those images is in succession. Whereas if you're not running snaps, those images don't mount. Also, snaps tend to load slower because they are mounted compressed images rather than standard native packages, which are just native on your system. But yeah, this actually sounds pretty cool. This sounds like what Linux Mint is trying to do, but they, in my opinion, they don't do it well. Whereas this one might actually be doing it correctly.
Well, I mean, it's like all these Linux distributions. Yeah, you find the one that works for you. Whether they do it correctly or not is immaterial. If you've got your hardware and it works, and you enjoy using it, and you like what it does, then it's the correct one for you. Now, the other thing that they've got is they've got an interesting install applications button along the lines of quite a few distros now that have, well, these are probably the tools that you would want. And if you can't find it there, then you try the normal sudo apt install. And if you can't find it there, you just throw a Flatpak at it. So, yeah.
Something else I thought was interesting is if they have some. I was looking at some of the product samples. They have a Windows 10 OS global theme, and I was kind of clicking through here, and that looks pretty close to Windows 10 right there. I mean, seems like someone could get in trouble for that one if you look at that. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, that's interesting because I've not seen one labeled Windows 10. So where do they hide that?
It's under global themes.
Not global. So it'll be under settings, will it? I would imagine. Yep. And then, because it's KDE, I don't think I'm running that.
Yep. Looks like they also have a Trinity desktop option as well. And I think it's pretty cool.
Oh, this is when you're first installing it, yeah. I just went for the full desktop version KDE. I didn't pick Windows lookalike. And let's have a look. It's like all of these things, isn't it? What's Windows lookalike? Are they putting up all of the icons? Are they putting up all of the same edges and fonts and all the rest of it? Or are they just jumping on the bandwagon that everybody else is doing because everyone's leaving Windows? Yeah, not. So they want to find a safe haven for people to jump on Linux. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's just a nice, simple, working version of Ubuntu.
Zeb, I got to tell you something. I don't know what you're going to think about this, but I have installed Windows 11 more than any operating system probably in my life now.
Because of work, yeah?
I'm so sorry.
And don't you just love it, how simple it is to do?
I like how it's pretty straightforward. Even the upgrade process, although sometimes doesn't work, kind of hit and miss. It's actually pretty easy to do. I really like how it breaks things and how it can shut the engineers out of certain pieces of software because just the incompatibility issues with like Rockwell and so forth. But outside of that, it's actually, I mean, all things considered, it's really not. I mean, I understand why people don't like it, but it's not. I mean, as far as Windows is concerned, it's probably my favorite, actually. I mean, Windows 7 probably I have a soft spot for that one, but it's probably my favorite as far as like look and feel, the integration. It's very I feel like it's a cross between GNOME and KDE as far as functionality, and I feel like they've taken some notes from the open source world to make things more functional. How it handles networks, still like a pile of dog crap, but really it's not. I mean, it's not horrible.
I just wish they'd stop breaking it with all these stupid updates where this then doesn't work and that then doesn't work. And then you get the 50 YouTube videos where everybody on the whole planet now hates Windows 11. No, they don't. There's a dozen, maybe 1,000 vocal few that really, really hate it because of what it's doing. But you can recover. You've just got to wait for the next patch to fix their mistake. But they should do more testing with the insiders. And listen to the insiders.
What would actually really make it good is if they got rid of all the that Copilot stuff. That would actually make it really good if they could do that. Like get it from by default, make that opt in instead of opt out. That would actually make it a lot better.
They've done that. No, they haven't, because it's still there in the background. They've just renamed it.
Yeah.
So and Copilot has gone.
And make it so that and don't break the shutdown so you can't turn off your computer. That's a big plus.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't make that stuff up.
That's coming. I've seen that in the Windows Insider groups where you'll be able to delay updates for up to 5 weeks. You will now be able to shut down your computer and shut down, not wait for it to do 4 hours of updates. Sorry, that didn't work. 4 hours of rollback and then it shuts down, by which time you've woken up again going, what the hell's going on here? So all of that is coming through, allegedly. Yeah. But hey, we're here to talk about Linux. So yeah, Quark OS, it's really good. Give it a try.
Yep. I think it looks neat. I think it's an interesting concept. The website's obviously very, very minimal on there. It's kind of also just maybe a splash page based to the SourceForge backend. But yeah, I got a link in the have a link in the show notes for sure. And I'm interested in seeing what you say about it next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
if I'm still on it next week. I mean, that's 7 days. Come on, Nate. If you've learned anything from me, I'm like, what is it? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, a Linux a day keeps Zeb happy. So
yeah. Well, I understand. I've hopped around a lot too. I've been using OpenSUSE now for like 14 years. So I do hop a lot as well.
Yeah, but you don't hop on your main machine.
No.
Ask Rocco 10 minutes before the show. Hang on a minute, I'm not quite ready. I'm just
hold on.
updating.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, I've just installed XYZ, and he's sitting there going, "Oh, for God's sake!"
Oh, I'm still true to form here, Zeb. Still true to form.
Yeah. So do you think maybe Zeb, this would be worth doing like a distribution exploration on it? That may be something to try out.
Because of its uniqueness, yes. It's going to sound silly, but it almost reminds me of the Frankenstein build that was Peppermint OS. Yeah, nothing was done normally. Nothing was done. What is he doing this for? Why has he mixed this, that, and the other together? But it worked, and I think you'll find that again with Quark OS. There will be some people who don't like it and can't use it, like Penguin, who relies upon certain snaps to do certain tasks. But yeah, I think it would make a fairly interesting, because I need more clever people in here to describe what they've done and how they've done it. Me, I just know that it looks like it's on a Lubuntu base. It must be, because why is the hard disk called Lubuntu? It's got a KDE desktop and there's no snaps, and it works.
Did they say why? Does it say on the website why they did that?
Well, because they felt that it was going to be, excuse the pun, snappier without snaps. And it's proved to be the case. Plus, Q4 OS have never done the normal thing anyway. I mean, who in 2025 still makes a Trinity desktop?
Right.
Q4 OS do.
I'm gonna have to look at it too, and because I'm a big fan of Kubuntu, I need to look at it and see really what's making it different than Kubuntu, other than no snaps, obviously.
And it's on a Ubuntu base. It's
Well,
not
I
based
know,
on
but
Ubuntu, yeah.
they're both based on Ubuntu. So what makes
Ubuntu,
it
yeah.
different than it's
Yeah.
Ubuntu? I'm curious now.
Good. We've got the old juices flowing, which is what
Yeah,
we want.
I'm gonna look at it.
I'm gonna try it out just to see how they just to see, because I think to me it looks interesting, like an interesting opinionated distribution. Those to me are probably the most interesting to try out. You know, the ones that like have an idea, a focus, some sort of a, I don't want to say gimmick because that sounds like a pejorative, but like a a thing, I guess, just
Mhm.
something. So that's what makes it interesting to me, is they got a thing.
I mean, as an Ubuntu user, it looks interesting at least. I'm probably just going to spin up a VM probably this weekend just to see what they've done with it.
Yeah, well, make sure you read all their notes, because there are special things you have to do in a VM, apparently. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that to my attention, because I'd probably just spin it up and break it.
Yeah, and the other thing is as well, go on the Q4OS forums, because they seem to have, they're chatting about it more than Quark OS is on SourceForge.
Okay, cool.
You're muted, Nate.
Oops, I thought I hit the button to unmute myself, but I actually muted myself in the process. They're kind of the same, based on what I've read a little bit. It sounds like this maybe some of the same group of people. But I could be wrong. I might be very wrong.
No, you're 100% right. It's a bit like Nobara and Pika OS. They all started off in Nobara, and then Pika OS decided to go another slightly different route with Debian instead of Fedora. So these guys are now going, because I think Q4 OS is based on Debian, isn't it? And now these guys are basing it on Ubuntu. So
either way, interesting. It'd be fun to dig into it. I don't know much about it, so I might be spouting a bunch of misinformation here. But it says Q4OS team modified the blog post about it, so that's what has me leading to believe that that's it.
Yep.
Ooh, I have to pick on this here real quick. So Steve's very own says, Monday marks the 8th anniversary of my first video post on YouTube, which is about how I made my PEP desktop look like Chrome OS.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. He could join us right now if he wanted. The Discord, I know he's in Discord. His video chat. I would love to hear his wonderful voice. Oh, well, very cool. Well, we'll definitely check up on that next week. See if you're still doing it. If you're able to visit, if you're able to join next week, I'll ask. If not, I'll try and get the update from you in writing. Okay. I'm just gonna touch this real quick. You can check out the straw poll at keepinglate.com/polls. Rollback features your operating system right now. I know how important it is to you. I did see some comments in the YouTube here, but it said not a lot of votes, but I only just put it up. So it looks like right now it's split 67-33, or two-thirds people saying yes, it's important, over it's not being important. So I just thought that was interesting. But we'll talk more about that on the news flight night of Linux Saloon, when there's had more time to bake out. But I'm just kind of curious from here, though, is having a rollback feature important for your operating system, whether it's Linux or not? Is that something that is of any interest to you?
It depends. If I'm running a rolling release, definitely it's definitely going to be important to me, because if something breaks, I want to be able to roll that back. But honestly, right now with Ubuntu and LTS, I really don't care. I don't have a rollback system on here. Ubuntu, in my experience, doesn't break itself. So as long as I don't do anything too crazy, I don't really need it on an LTS version.
What you, Rocco?
What the heck is a rollback and backup, dude? We don't do that around here.
Nook and pave.
Yeah, that's a good way. So
No, I was just going
sometimes
to
I
say
like
every single OS I have has got a rollback feature. It's called reinstall.
That's right. That's right.
I don't think that's what that means.
Well, look, I think it's important to have it for people that use it. I just don't personally use something like that. Like, I don't think I've backed up my system or did a rollback or even tried any of that for years. It's maybe that's bad practice. Probably not a good idea in case something happens, but if something happens, I have a backup of my stuff that I need, my documents and stuff like that. But as
Data,
far as
yeah.
but as far as the system, I don't personally use that. So, but it's surely nice to have for people that do.
Well, my reason for why it's important to me is I like to play. Now, honestly, I don't probably play as much with my primary system as I used to. I used to break it all the time and have to nuke and pave it, sometimes multiple times in a day because I borked it so bad trying a thing. This is before rolling too, that I could not get it back to the way it was, and now, and then I came upon, like, I don't know how many years ago it was when OpenSUSE started having that, and then Leap, and then um, Tumbleweed. But then that became, I think around 2013 or 14, I think is when I started, maybe, yeah, but about then is when I started using the rollback feature, because I would play, and then I could undo whatever I just did. So I can give you an example of why it was important to me. So I wanted to play around with running OpenZFS on Tumbleweed, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why? And the answer is because. And so in order to add that module, it was really recommended I use an LTS kernel instead of the more stable one, instead of the latest, most up-to-date kernel on my system. So through the process, I installed the latest kernel. I did the little switcheroos in the back end and made it all work. And I started playing with the OpenZFS thing, and I couldn't really get it to work like I wanted it to work. And then I thought to myself, well, I just kind of want to pretend like it never happened. So I just went back to the snapshot of right before I started playing, had that activated that snapshot, and then it was like it never even happened. Kind of like ServPro, they come in and clean your house after disaster, like it never even happened. Anyway, and so I didn't have to worry about like uninstalling or figuring out all the steps I did to mess around. I was actually doing this on my work machine. That's critical. I don't break it. So that's actually why I really appreciated that ability. And I think I just saw some message come from pop in here from Goofball. That's who it is. And I said, my personal case rollback feature is not a priority. Most of my apps are cloud-based. Most of my data is backed up. No loss if I have to wipe my machine. So yeah, that's a different use case, but not a big deal for him.
And in chat, Nate, you've got Ben's tech room that says, if I'm putting them on a client's machine, BTRFS timeshift is a must. I have to have a way to get back to a bootable state.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're supporting somebody, then yeah, a rollback is a lot easier than having to go in and reinstall 10 machines or whatever.
That's a very good point, because if I was maintaining a family member's computer, I probably would put a rollback on no matter what it was. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I have a server. I have a laptop running as a server right here that my documents sync to every 4 hours. So I mean, as long as I've got that important data backed up, I really don't care what happens to my system, because I can easily restore it, because I've got a script that just puts my system back to the way it was when I first installed it. So I just install it, run that script, and I've got everything all installed again, and it takes me 30 minutes.
I got a message here from
maintaining.
Go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shady, please.
I'm also maintaining several other computers in my family. So I have set up a custom Linux Mint with ButterFS and timeshift snapshots. And yeah, it's it has saved me a couple of times already, because I don't know what they're gonna install and can happen to the system, and that's fine. They have all the freedom to do so. It's just perfect. And if something does go wrong, I just you revert back to the older snapshot, and it's up and running again. So it's a lifesaver when it comes to that. Also, my system currently uses a PPA to update the pipewire and what's the other one? Pipewire version, because for some reason the current Linux Mint still ships with Pipewire 105, which is like incredibly old, and I have no clue why they are doing this, but because I'm using custom I always mix up the names. It's not Pipewire, but the other one, Wire.
Pulse audio.
Hold on, let me check real quick.
Jack audio.
No. Wire plumber. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have custom wire plumber files that configure my environment better and make it easier to manage. And I also have I have a nice solution that transfers all the audio from my laptop wirelessly over Pipewire to my main system, which has the speakers. So it's all nice up and running, but it requires a newer version, basically. So earlier this week, I ran an update on my system, and for some reason, Pipewire was not working, and I had no audio on both of my systems. And just reverted back with ButterFS snapshots, and it was up and running again. So and it turned out the PPA package was not working correctly, and a day later, and the update again, and it was working. So there you go.
Yeah. The Rocco just would have wiped his system, just started all over.
I would have. I definitely would have.
Comes another distribution said next.
Yeah. Well, I can also explain why Linux Mint is shipping a really old version of Pipewire. It's because it's still based on 24.04 Ubuntu. They haven't updated the 26.04 yet. They're typically about 4 to 6 months behind on their rollout schedule of Ubuntu.
Yeah.
So,
I knew that.
That probably when they release the next version of Linux Mint, that's going to be fixed. But it's based on it's based on the older Ubuntu base currently. So that's why you're going to have those problems.
Wasn't aware that the older Ubuntu LTS was also still using that old Pipewire version, but it would make sense.
They might not be. They might not be because Ubuntu tends to update this stuff a little bit more than Linux Mint does. Because Ubuntu LTS releases point versions, so chances are that might have been updated in a point version in Ubuntu, whereas Linux Mint didn't push that update.
Yeah, but if it's anything to do with Pipewire, wasn't that Simon? And he never used to update anything, bless him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
We used to rib him something rotten, and you're muted, Nate, if you tried to speak.
I think that was Pulse Audio that we gave Simon ribbing for.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pulse Audio. Oh,
Pulse
okay.
audio, Pulse audio, yeah.
So I want
I know it
to.
began with a P.
Goofball added another comment here in the Discord live stream chat. He said, talking about his backups or the rollback feature, says he uses Fedora Atomic Downstream called Secure Blue, so he can always roll back to the previous stable image if needed. So I guess it's also a yes. He's a yes and a no, I guess. It's not a
Well, like
priority,
I
but
said,
it's also
it
priority.
is a great feature. I mean, there's no question about it that it should be there, but I just don't personally use it.
Yeah. So I like it unrolling, especially because if I break, if an update breaks something, which there was a there's a regression in AppArmor, the relationship between AppArmor, dbus, and the latest release of Linux kernel 7, like 7.0 point something, whatever, which broke my ability to use WPA supplicant, so I couldn't actually use my Wi-Fi. And so I could probably figure this out, but instead, roll back, and then I just kind of went on with my day and updated again the next day. That's kind of how I went. It was last weekend, I believe, or something like that. I didn't get a chance to file a bug report because someone was already on top of it, and I didn't. Yeah.
You didn't back it up with a confirmation that it did in fact fail.
No, what do you mean?
Well, you said you didn't report a bug on it. You could have gone in there and said, I had that too.
I could have, but I was lazy.
Just to let them know that it was more than one person reporting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lazy.
So I've never reported a bug in my life unless Alan Pope was bugging me about it. And I think he actually forced me through a whole month of, you must have had things go wrong with your machine, Zeb. Come on, let me see what. And he used to jump on my machine and have a look and say, look, you didn't report that, and you didn't report that, and you didn't report that. Yeah, okay, Dad, I'll get onto it.
Yeah, that's right. We love Alan.
Mm-hmm. He was meant to be on here tonight. I'm going to give him so much grief when I speak to him again.
Oh, that's right. He could still pop in. You never know.
You tell him he's killing me. That's all.
A couple of arguments against maybe having things like the Butterfest rollback features, whether it's timed like with time shift or if it's automatic like Snapper with hooks, is there is some overhead. There's as far as CPU and storage requirements for such things. Do any of you think that that's a problem at this point, or is that kind of a moot point?
I mean, it depends. It depends on your system. If you've got, say, a 10-year-old 4-core Intel system, that's going to be a concern because, every 4 to 6 hours, it's going to take some CPU cycles to do that. It also depends on your storage. If you've got, say, 512 of storage on your boot drive, you're going to want some other storage solution.
I think somebody's going to pick the distro that works for their hardware. And if they have enough hardware to run a backup and that's what they want to run, I think they're going to run it. And if they don't, then they're not going to.
Yeah.
And as far as should a distro run it, I don't know if they should. I don't think it should be a requirement, but I do give, when I do reviews of distros and they have some kind of a backup plan by default active, I do give them props and I give them bonus points whenever I do their review. But as far as requirement, I don't think so. Some of them, like he was saying, Ubuntu's pretty rock solid. And the majority of time, if you're going to break it, you probably did it and not the distro itself. But again, if it had a built-in backup system, maybe people would be a little more experimental with it.
But isn't that almost like you're being opted in rather than being asked? Yeah, people always moan about Linux and saying, "Well, why should I give them my data when I've installed it?" Well, you don't have to. It's not opt-in. But if they build a distribution and it automatically creates backups on your 120 megabyte or 120 gigabyte SSD on your laptop, and then a week and a half later the laptop's full up and you can't run the system, and you have no idea why, because you didn't know it was running an automatic backup.
Well, as far as that goes, that's part of the reason I chose OpenSUSE, specifically Tumbleweed, is because they have the backup. I know it has a backup, and that's one reason I choose them, is because I want that backup. And if you're running blind into a distro and you know nothing about it, is that on the distro or is that on the person that's running blind into it?
Well, I mean, so you start it all up, you install it, and it gets up and running, and then it should come up with, oh, by the way, we're going to be running backups on X period. This is the timetable. Are you happy with that? Yes or no?
Yeah, I agree. It should
So it
have
shouldn't
a
be up to them
yes or
to
no.
find out what distro. Because don't forget, we're trying to entice people over from the dreaded W, and it's not going to help when they've got their their little laptop that's worked for years, and all of a sudden it gets onto Linux, and 2 weeks later it stops working because of the backups.
Well, so
It's a bit extreme, but you know what I mean.
there's two different
It is.
strategies there. So time shift and snapper are two different Btrfs backup or snapshot, like rollback snapshot mechanisms. And so one is I don't know how to put it, like is more integrated than the other. So just like as a thought, so time shift actually has a GUI, and you have to opt into that, and you set those timetables. With Snapper and Tumbleweed, anyway, I don't know, maybe some others have it too, or Leap. It has hooks into the package manager, so that it would only take a snapshot once you do an update. In fact, it takes a snapshot before you do the update, and then one right after. So it allows you to. So then it happens because the whole copy on write thing, and then that's actually how it builds the snapshot. So it happens only as you update, essentially, as like a safeguard.
And does that automated update take into account how much hard disk space you've got free?
Yes, in fact.
So it won't run it if you haven't got enough
Yes.
space for the snapshots.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll prune them off.
Cool.
If you don't have them, it automatically gets rid of the old ones based on how much storage you have left.
And then
It didn't used to
eventually
do
it'll
that.
tell you that. Oh, right. Okay. Well, then, yeah, that's a good thing then. Yeah.
I mean, time shift also allows you to say, hey, I only want to use, say, 15% of my drive for these snapshots. So if once it hits that 15% of the drive, it'll prune off the last snapshot and keep rolling it forward. So there are safeguards to keep it from like completely filling up your drive and then borging your system. But you got to make sure you've got, especially with time shift, because if you're not paying attention with time shift will definitely break your system like that if you're not setting that up right. So you got to make sure you've got that disk space buffer, that disk space limit on it, or else it will continue going and going and going, and will not delete snapshots.
Yeah, that could be problematic.
So it has
Yeah.
nothing in it to stop it from creating a new one, even though there's not enough room.
That is odd.
That's
weird.
That's if you don't set it up. I mean, I've seen someone not do that before. But yes, time shift does have those safeguards built in. You just got to make sure it's turned on.
Yeah, well, they're not built in then. It's user intervention.
No.
Time shift shouldn't do that. Even if you just install time shift and you install the OS and it just runs, it's absolutely no way. That is an appalling user choice. I'm just going to keep running and I don't care if I fill up your hard disk and balk your whole system. That's a shocking setup routine.
It is, but
No, there's
like
no buts. It is.
yeah.
There's no buts about
and
it.
I'm just going to. Okay, well, but when you first set it up, it gives you it literally will tell you, this is recommended. It will just point down and say, hey, yeah, this is recommended that you set this limit right here. But a lot of people like that because it's an opt-in and not an opt-out. So it lets you set the choice and not the developer setting the choice for you.
So if you opt out, you fork your system.
Yeah,
no, if
exactly.
you opt out, it doesn't do any. If you opt out, it doesn't do any backups. Because if you say don't do a time shift, it won't do any backups.
So
Right, but
but
the space thing should be an automatic thing. You know what I mean? Like whether I choose to do a backup or not is my choice.
Mm-hmm.
But the space thing should just be done automatically. Where
Yes,
I don't have the space.
Yes, I think I agree. I agree. I should probably have that box ticked and have you untick it if you don't want it. But also time shift also supports different drives. So like, let's just say if you have a different drive that say you've got a terabyte drive for your snapshots, you can just simply say, hey, I want to fill up that drive full of, and then have it roll after it fills up a terabyte worth of snapshots. I don't know why you would want that many snapshots, but it also gives you the ability to do it. And I think that's what they're
as
trying
long as
to.
that drive is formatted in the same format as the drive you're using. Yeah.
So just to kind of make sure I understand. So time shift, based on what I'm reading here, says it doesn't handle it's not space aware, so it's count based retention policy. So how you basically set how many you want to keep is how it works, and then there's in the settings that we have an hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and boot. So once the limit is reached in each category, it automatically deletes the oldest snapshot in that category when creating a new snapshot. So you can keep 5 daily snapshots, and then then it gets rid of them after that. So but it is not space aware. It only counts numbers of snapshots, not actual disk usage.
It does say snapshots will be created at selected intervals if snapshot disk has enough space over 1 gigabyte.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's not going to.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I actually did.
Yep.
It's been years since I've used Snapshot. Time shift. So yeah, I forgot about that.
Right.
And so there's. It won't create them, I guess. Then is that how that will be? So it won't create them.
If there's less than 1 gig available, then it will not. Create a new snapshot.
Yeah. So Snapper is space aware. So it deletes old snapshots to free up space when space drops below a threshold. It does have cleanup algorithms, so number, timeline, so forth, and then it also does integrate with Package Manager. That's a difference.
So my next question is then, does either of those packages tell you, oh, you've run out of space and I haven't done a backup for 2 weeks?
So
or are you sitting there, ignorant of the fact that you've got Timeshift running, you've got Snapper running, and it's doing all these backups, and then 2 weeks later you go, hang on, the only backup I've got is 2 weeks ago because I ran out of disk space and you didn't tell me. Does it advise you that it can't make any more?
So Snapper doesn't do the home directory. It only backs up your running system, so your root system. And so only when you make changes to it, specifically hooked into the package manager, that's when it takes a snapshot. It actually takes it it creates a snapshot as it's building the new data, so the overhead is very low. Is how that works. It's a copy
and
right.
If I remember correctly, Timeshift does not notify you, which is a problem. But also Timeshift does have the ability to snapshot your home folder as well, whereas Snapper I don't think does. So you do have the ability just to do a full backup through, I believe, rsync. I think that's what it uses at the back end. I might be wrong on that, but yes.
Well, you'd have to read it up.
I don't think. Yeah, and then but if I remember correctly, the last time I used Timeshift, and that was about 5 years ago, it didn't notify you if it wasn't making snapshots. It would stop working.
Okay, and what about if somebody doesn't make a separate home directory but has everything running off of root? Because I never have home, var, blah, whatever it is. That if the OS creates them and it uses them, like you put ButterFS on, then you're going to get them if you do the default install. But when you install any Ubuntu, you can just say, no, just do it on root. So I have one UEFI directory and I have one root directory. And then within that root directory is everything.
Yeah, but ButterFS uses subvolumes, and so it selects. So it's one pool, but it uses subvolumes. So those other volumes is what it backs up. It doesn't actually. It ignores your home for the.
But Ubuntu doesn't, so therefore Snapshot won't. Linux Mint doesn't. I can install Linux Mint and just have a root directory. It will create home downloads and all the rest of it, but it's not as a subdirectory. It's not as a subvolume.
Well, it's more of a virtual subvolume. It's more of a ButterFS subvolume. So it's the same pool of storage. It's just it's like a virtual.
Yeah, no, I get ButterFS, but what I'm saying is on Linux Mint, I can have a perfectly working Linux Mint system and just have a UEFI partition and a root partition.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it backing up when you say it just backs up root?
Okay.
Oh, I have no idea for that in that case.
Okay. Are you talking about a home partition or just a home directory, Zeb?
It's literally on my machine. I can install Linux Mint with just a UEFI partition and a partition that I tell it is root. I don't tell it to have a separate partition for home or anything else. It's just everything's under root.
Okay, so basically, I think what Nate is saying is Snapper will take your root system.
I know what Nate is saying, but I'm asking, what does Mint back up? Does it back up the whole 1 terabyte that I've given it, or does it only just look at what it needs to in/root and pick up the bits it's needed?
How you configure time shift. So if you're
it's how you configure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because you can configure time shift to just back up your package manager and all the critical system files, or you can just simply say, back up my entire system, including my home folder, to this drive, and as a snapshot. I never did that. I always just said back up just the root system. But yeah, you can configure it either way with time shift.
Okay, well, we'll soon find out, because while you guys are still chatting away, I'm just going to install time shift on this and see what it offers me. So carry on.
Cool.
Okay.
If I go off, I've blown up my system and I'll be back on Windows in a minute.
All right. Works for me.
Well, can I ask a question in the same vein?
Sure.
Do we have a drop dead simple backup program for newer users on Linux? I know we have like time shift and we have all these other things, but so my dad's computer, and now I live 5 hours away, and his computer is not able to be upgraded to the newest Ubuntu because he's still on Ubuntu Mate. And so I'm afraid I'm going to have to go down and like reinstall Linux and put everything back on. But he's still using like from 5-6 years ago programs that I set him up on, and I don't remember what backup program he's on. But do we have nowadays for a guy that's not super tech? You know what I mean? Like
I would say time shift is going to be a good one. It has a nice graphical user interface, and depending on what you want to back up, because you have to know that at least.
All he wants to really back up is his home folder, which has his documents and pictures and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure that'd be it's pretty easy to do with time shift.
Time shift is not meant for backing up. It's for just like system snapshots.
Okay. Well, there's a Deja Dupe. I use something called Back in Time because it's a Back to the Future reference. And that's why I use it. Easy to use. You just select the directory, select where you want it to go, and you hit start. And then they're also incremental backups. So you take them. So I do this as my offline backup mechanism. So I plug in a drive that I will disconnect. I back up my home directory only with that. I have also other active backup systems, but that's my automatic one. And so check out Back in Time. Works super well. I like it. I've never had it fail on me, unless the drive failed because I dropped it.
Okay. Yeah. So Rocco, is he like backing up to say a cloud drive or just
No, he is not. He doesn't want anything to do with the cloud. He has a separate drive.
Okay, he's like my parents. So
yeah, so it's just got to be like drop dead simple to take his home folder and just back everything up in his home folder to another drive.
Is he running Mint?
Okay.
He was running Ubuntu Mate, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna when I go down, and I'm gonna try to convince him to switch over to Linux Mint. So
yeah. Well, there's a very simple program called Free File Sync. And what you do is you say, here's my home directory on the left, and on the right-hand side, you have another disk, and you make sure it's got the same named home directory. And then you just go compare, and you can set up, do them both ways, do them one way, or do them the other way. So on mine, I always say update. So I have a directory here called, let's say, home, and I have a directory here called home, and I say update. And every time I run it, Whatever's new on here gets updated to on here. Never deletes it off of here. So you always have lots of really, really old stuff. But does that really matter as long as it's got the latest and greatest new stuff on there?
Well, I feel like he would want to, like if he, like say his pictures, like if he deletes pictures off of his hard drive, he's not going to want them same pictures back once he, like if I had to back everything up.
Then
and
you
then
choose,
restore
then
it.
then you choose another option that allows you to, it allows you to sync from this drive to that drive. So anything deleted on here will be deleted over there. So take a look. It's called Free File Sync. You can get it as all sorts of packages: Debs, Snaps, flat packs.
Free file sync.
Yeah, free file sync, all one word. Yeah.
So it's not going to help you right now because he's currently not on Linux Mint, but Linux Mint does have its own backup program besides Timeshift, just for backing up your home folder. However, I switched to Pika Backup, Pika Backup, and I like that tool. It's available as a flat pack, if I'm correct. So yeah, that's the one I would recommend.
It's a no map.
Again.
Okay, new user coming to Linux, trying to set up Timeshift. The first error you come across of is it says, right, where do you want your backups? Well, I haven't got any drives ready for it. I haven't got another drive that's got any space on it that isn't used by another distro. So I'm going to have to now go into gparted, reduce my BTRFS partition by 100 gig, let's say, and then make it an ext4 so that rsync can work. So again, none of them are really, really user-friendly if you're not prepared beforehand in setting them up.
That's why if it does it by default, that's a good thing.
Say again.
That's why if it does it by default, that's a good thing.
But Shady, you said about the Pika backup. Have you tried to, like, I'm just asking, have you tried to restore from that? Is it just as easy to restore?
I'm going to be honest. I think I only restored a file from the backup. So not the whole backup, but a file from within the backup.
Well, I remember years ago, I had him try Linux Mint, and we tried the backup in Linux Mint. But I want to say that at that time, maybe, I don't remember exactly how it went, but I'm pretty sure that Linux Mint doesn't back up your files like where you can view them, where like you could open them in a file explorer. And that's one thing that I know he was looking for because he just wants to go in and click the box to see that their files are there. And with Linux Mint, it was just archived files or encrypted file or whatever it was, files themselves that only, I guess, the backup program knew. And he wasn't really comfortable with that.
Okay. So then backup would be a better choice for him as well. Because you can actually browse. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
And you can also make exclusions, like file exclusions, like maybe folders. You want to omit some folders, or I don't know.
Yep.
You might want to check out
star.isos. Maybe not back up those, for example.
A couple others you might want to check out too. And I'll put them in the. I'll put links in here. They'll be in the show notes as well. But it's also very simple. It's Borg backup, or with Vorta with Borg. It's a Borg GUI. Those are Star Trek aliens, essentially. But it also has a compression and deduplication and so forth, which may be important if you want to make sure you don't have duplicate files. And then another one, which is dead simple to use, is Deja Dupe. Put that in here as well. You may want to check that out. That might be of interest to you as well. So those are both very simple ways to do backups. I think Deja Dupe is the only one that's considered very easy based on the list that I've got so far in this comparison.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to log off. I will see you tonight, Nate.
All right.
Rocco, it's good to see you, Big Daddy.
Hey, brother.
See you later.
Yep.
Cheers, in. And while we're talking about of backups, your last good backup is only as good as the last time you tried to restore it.
Mm-hmm.
You could be sitting there making all of these
Yep.
wonderful backups, and then when it comes to crunch time, they don't work. So
Well,
every
that's
now
why
and
I
again,
kind of asked about if Pika, if BitChitty had restored it, because like the last thing I want to do is give him something that like we can't restore. Then I mean, not that we couldn't. Like I'm sure we could, but I was just looking to verify that it was restored.
yeah. Well, that's why I like free file sync, because you can see the files that are in a directory on the left, and you see the files that said. I guess it's a front end for rsync. I don't know what the front end is. I just know it works.
Well, I'm pretty sure what I have him on currently, which I haven't. I think it's been a couple years, is GRSync. I'm pretty sure that's what I had him using.
A front end just means it's like an interface. It's like it's a way to use the other program an easier way, maybe like a GUI.
Yeah, like a GUI.
There you go, Rocco. In chat for you, mate. Walt Frumpus Fryer says, I use Pika backup and it works great.
Very good. I'm gonna have to try it out.
I also have to admit that my most important files are automatically synced using what's it called?
Syncthing?
Nate uses it. Yeah, Syncthing. Yep.
Yep. Same here.
So yeah, I'm like double protected.
Okay, so I just shrunk a Btrfs directory by 200 gig, and I've given it an ext extension, and now I'm going to go next on rsync. Yeah, and here it comes. How many do you want? If I tick them all, it's going to blow up, isn't it? I'll have 2 of those and 3 of those and 5 of those and 6 of those and 5 of those. Stop cron emails for scheduled tasks. What on earth does that mean, boys?
Well, I don't know if there's any other thoughts on this. If not, I had another thing I kind of want to chat about as a total, like, just a nerdy fun thing.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So I was listening to one of my other favorite podcasts out there called This Week in Retro. Up-to-date news for out-of-date tech is kind of their little tagline, which makes me laugh a lot. And I wanted to...
It sounds like something you would love.
Yes, indeed it is. So I wanted to share this here. It's a Kickstarter. I'm not even recommending this Kickstarter. I don't. I have been burned by Kickstarters before. I've had Kickstarters go well for me too. So I just want to share this and see if maybe there's any modicum amount of interest in something like this. So I like arcades. I don't know how many of you are old enough to have gone to an arcade, popped some quarters in, and played. And I have thought, man, it'd be really nice to have an arcade at home, but they take up so much space. And so I saw this. Tell me what you think.
In every relationship, there is the one that loves doing awesome
I've already
things,
seen it.
and
It's
the one
great.
who hates fun. But the Swap Arcade is fun for everyone, because when you're not playing, it transforms into a beautiful cabinet. And when you're ready to play, in seconds, you have a full-sized awesome arcade. Built with premium parts, including Sanwa joysticks, it delivers a true arcade experience. Runs a multi-cade system with a starter set of games included, and the ability to load and play thousands of classic arcade and retro games. Plus, you can connect your Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, PC,
This
and
is
more.
all about
So
the
everything you
Bob
already
factor.
love to play works
With
right
approval.
here.
Oof.
Bring back those memories of playing at the arcade and get everyone off their phones and playing together. Swap Arcade fits right into your space as a clean, modern cabinet, available in multiple colors. Then, in seconds, when you're ready to play, swap it into a full-size arcade. Back this project now to pre-order your Swap Arcade.
So, is
Launching that plant was the best bit of the whole thing.
Oh, for sure.
I want to play games. Get rid of that thing. Yeah.
So is this something that obviously this is targeting a certain kind of person, right? But is this something that you think would be worth it? I mean, it's kind of
How much?
salty. $1,100, $1,200. I mean, I don't know what that is in your funny foreign money, but
well, I'm balking at spending 200 quid on a better mic, so there's no way I'm going to spend £1,000 on an arcade.
There was a video from Linux Tech Tips that talked about an arcade put on the wall so that it took up less space, and they were selling that at the time for I think $4,000, and then you would have to buy $1,000 mount on top of that.
Oof.
So then they came up with their own DIY cabinet, and I think they spent around $4,000. I think that's what paying a person for Linus's staff $30 an hour for labor, all included.
Huh.
That's an expensive hobby.
Is there any? What are the specs of the system? Curious. I didn't see that.
So it does come with a Raspberry Pi, but you can really put in any sort of a they have an optional upgrade for a N100 mini PC instead. So
I know memory prices increased, but 1,200 for a Raspberry Pi.
Well, I mean, it's for the whole cabinet, though. You're buying a piece of furniture.
Yeah, you're getting the ingenuity of how it's set up and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and the screen and the handhelds and the buttons and the whole retro concept. But yeah,
the fact you can pull it away and make it not look like an arcade cabinet when you're not using it.
But I feel like it's targeted more for
the cubicle nates of this world.
Adults than it is for kids, because like kids nowadays are probably not going to want to play those type of games.
You'd be surprised.
Certainly not standing up. Why can't I sit down and play this?
So it looks really cool, and if I was into retro games, it might be on a list of mine. But like, it's probably a niche thing.
Just
if I win the lottery, I'll buy one just to wind Nate up. Say, look, Nate, what I've got.
If I win the lottery, Nate, I'll buy you one.
I mean, you can always ask Michael for one of his stools so you can sit. You know.
What, after Michael sat on it, really?
Okay, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. I think so. So some Deploribus Rex says novelty, and then he says also, I imagine the novelty will wear off after about 3 days. And
I feel like at one point you will just leave it unfolded if you're really enjoying the gaming. You're not gonna bother folding it back into a cabinet.
But then you don't need to push the plan off, you know.
Well, the other thing is as well, especially when it looked like the wife was kicking him off to play it anyway. So yeah, just leave it up. Can we? Let me just turn that off a minute because that's doing my head in. That bloke keep opening it, shutting it, opening, shutting it.
I think that was the point that it's made for married men because maybe his wife doesn't want that being seen in the living room all the time.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so my house had to get relegated to the garage.
Being a single guy, I can see. You have a date. The date comes back home, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll just turn it into a cabinet before.
Yeah. You have it in bachelor mode and dating mode. You know, you have
exactly.
different modes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of neat. I mean, is an arcade machine on anybody's list of something I want to have, or is that probably a very small niche of a niche group of people?
30 years ago.
My gosh. That's why we have Xboxes and PlayStations, Nate.
Yeah, I want to play my arcade games on my phone, sitting down with my feet up and a beer in a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather buy the new Sony player for 100. In the UK, it's like 200 quid, and you just sit there and it links up to your Sony PlayStation and away you go.
Yeah, if I'm going to spend a lot of money on something I can play besides my phone, I'd honestly get a Steam Deck.
I was about to say, Nate, Steam Deck. You have
I have one.
I mean,
Yep, he has one.
Oh, Steam Deck. Heads up, boys, if
Just-
you haven't seen the warnings about the new Steam controller. It's got a really dodgy design on the magnetic connector that both charges the handheld and allows it to be used as a wired-in plug thing. The whole magnetic thing can interfere with hard disks, pacemakers, equipment. And like somebody mentioned on, I think it was on Reddit, he had his iPhone sitting on a charger and he had his watch over the back that happened to have a metal frame on it. The watch was like a metal watch. And he accidentally knocked the stand and he didn't realise it, but the watch strap fell on top of the Steam Deck or the Steam controller and it caught fire.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
So if you're going to have one, keep it away from everything because it's a very strong. And Steam Deck or Steam controller warns you about it, but it's like 14 layers deep in 0.2 font. So you really have to go looking for it when they say, warning, keep this away from, and they give you a list of, don't let it get near the following.
Keep this away from everything.
Does seem a bit weird though.
Yeah.
You're muted, Nate.
Right. I was looking at this. I don't know if you want to look at the what I'm looking at here. Is it this controller puck here? Maybe something falls on that.
Yeah, that puck thing, and especially when you've got it turned over the other way, for whatever reason, if anything gets near that or touches it, it can cause a potential short circuit. Which seems very sus for me.
Well, now I want one. Now I put it like that.
Great concept, and the fact that it just magnetically hooks on when you get it close.
Yeah, I thought that was a great concept, dude.
I'll see if I can find the article that the bloke wrote. I was looking today for someone else, and you know what it's like. You sit here on Discord and Twitter and all the other places, and you see nothing but this Steam controller. I went looking for it today. Do you think I could find it?
Sure couldn't.
Yep. So I blame Aris. He hid it with the other 54 news articles he posts every day, which I must say, Aris, I love them to bits, mate. They keep me so entertained all day saying, okay, what's this person
I don't
doing?
even need an RSS feed.
Here we go.
anymore.
Aris has just done it. You just put it in there. The Steam controller drop-in charger almost started a fire. Good man, you see? Told you he was good, Nate, didn't I?
You did. You can put that up here on the thing. The drop-in charger almost started a fire for this owner. Said, we reviewed the new Steam controllers last month. We noticed how satisfying the click in the magnetic charging puck easily connected to the back of the controller lets users save the hassle of fiddling with a power cord. But one Reddit user's experience highlights how the exposed contacts on that puck can be a fire hazard if Steam controller owners aren't careful. So on the subreddit, shows that the metal portion of the charging puck started sizzling due to a short circuit when it came in contact with their metallic watch strap. The strap had apparently flopped down on the nearby watch charger and hit the controller puck at the exact wrong angle, which almost started a fire, the user wrote. It's a potential issue that Valve appears to be aware of, and it may not include with every Steam controller. Valve warns that both the charging puck and the controller contain magnetic parts that may attract magnetic items. Oh, I see what's going on here. You should make sure that both are free of metallic objects in order to reduce the potential risks of sparks when resulting property damage and possible injury. Valve wrote, the manual also warns that the magnets could have an negative effect on medical devices, credit cards, and magnetic data storage placed nearby. So there you go. So I wonder if like those magnetic chargers, like from a like from the I don't know what is it.
It looks good though. It looks nice.
Yeah, so I think I don't know how well you can see that, but this is from like an Apple MacBook, whatever. Those pins are below the surface of that. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So it's not actually above, and that might be the
Mhm.
mistake that was made then in the design. They're not shielding it as well. Just as
Those
a thought.
magnetic things were very dangerous. The Apple ones.
Were
There
they?
was earlier models that were always like they looked like kind of like burnt. I think there was always
Oh,
like
really?
people complaining online about them. I guess they improved them. I don't know, but I do remember people complaining about them, and I saw that picture online of them looking like black and kind of dangerous looking.
What I find incredulous is with a company like Valve or Steam or whoever the name of the company is that created this, why would you even carry on with research and development when you found out that they could cause interference to medical equipment? So if you're sitting there playing a game and you've got it up to your chest and you've got a pacemaker and you to the chest and you oh yeah and that's it, pacemaker's off. What? Why would you even continue development down that road with
What are
that
the percentages
potential there?
of pacemakers that people have?
Probably a lot more than you think. But anyway, it's beside the point whether it's one person or 1,000 people. I just don't get the mindset that says let's continue with this research and development of this potentially dangerous magnetic connector.
Well, I think that's with anything. I mean, yes, I see where you're coming from on that, and I don't disagree with that vantage, but there are more hazardous devices that we readily use and accept as part of day-to-day life. I mean, really,
Like,
well, a gas stove. I don't know if you have gas stoves in
but you expect a gas stove to be dangerous. You don't expect a gaming handheld to be dangerous.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
A food blender, you have them in the United States. I've no idea, but you normally chuck food down them and they just whirl away. And you see stupid horror movies where
Garbage
people
disposal.
put their garbage disposal units. Yeah, you know they're dangerous. You just don't expect a gaming controller to be dangerous. In the grand scheme of things, it isn't that dangerous, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's also dangerous walking across the street with the way some people drive.
I mean, I think there's
That
an
it
inherent
is.
danger to cell phones, and we have a lot of stored energy in your pocket that could potentially ignite and they have done
Catch
that
fire.
before. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but yeah, no,
Also,
you're right.
Shut up, miserable Zed. Carry on, Nate.
There's also a news article about the silicone tips of in-ear earbuds possibly causing cancer. People are still wearing those. So I am still wearing those.
I think that's only in California
Yeah.
though that it causes cancer.
Yeah,
Breathing
if you're going to go,
cancer.
if you're going to start believing that theory, I grew up knowing that if you drank coffee and ate bacon, you had a bigger chance of catching cancer than somebody who didn't. What?
Yeah.
That was a thing 30, 40 years ago. Don't drink coffee and eat bacon. The risk of cancer is
Yeah.
greater than if you don't do it.
Old wives' tale.
Mm-hmm.
That was big cereal that was trying to get you to eat more cereal, less bacon. That's what it was. Big cereal.
No, bacon is good for you.
Oh, I love bacon.
Hey, I
My
do
favorite-
have
my favorite
another
vegetable.
question for you guys,
Sure,
if you have time.
absolutely, we have time.
Okay, so I have my machine there, and this is just a little like setup to what I'm getting at. But I have my drive and my test machine, and I did what I do best. I partitioned it into 10 different partitions, and I equaled out the space. And now that's where I test all the distros, and I have like 10 distros installed. So I installed Bazite the other day, and right now I'm running CachyOS, and it's great, and I love it. But I installed Bazite, and Bazite's really nice. But I noticed a feature in Bazite that I don't remember seeing anywhere, and I just want to know if that's like something that you can get on other distros too. But when you go up to the power option, at the top, and it says restart. It also has a restart to. So, and then there's a drop-down menu to restart to, and it lists out all of your boot menu basically. And you can restart to, like I can restart to specifically to CachyOS.
I've never
And
seen
it'll,
that.
I've never seen it anywhere in any
Yeah.
distro, and like I would like to actually put it in CachyOS so I can, do that
And-
to
Then
restart into Bazzite.
What you're going to have to do is really dig into the technology behind what the application that they use and how do they implement it. Because I'm sure if they can put it on Bazzite, then you can compile it for Arch and Cachy. But you've got to be incredibly technical. Or you can go and speak to your mate Chris Titus Tech, because he did a very similar thing when he really liked the way, I think it was either Bazzite or Cachy did their backup with a very specific program that it runs, and he took that out of whatever OS it was and put it into his own OS that he uses because he thinks it's a fantastic part of the backup. So you're going to have to do the same thing with this. It's got to be fairly straightforward there, because it's almost like they're giving you an option that you would get if you booted and saw all the lists. But instead of having to boot into it and see all the lists, you can pick it beforehand. It's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
I have Refind on, and I have that as my bootloader, so I can pick any distro I want to. But I've never seen that inside a distro that you could restart to something. And I thought it was fantastic. So I was hoping like it was something new that I didn't know about and everybody else did know about, and they could just tell me how to do it. But
So a little digging, it looks like it's somehow aware of the EUFI boot manager. It has some sort of awareness with that.
Mhm.
And that's what it's doing. Or maybe Grub.
Nope.
I don't know.
well, either way, it's a fantastic feature. I love it.
That is a neat feature. And then, so are there no other? So how many Linux distributions do you have installed on your array of whatever you got going
Well,
on?
there's 10 partitions.
Okay.
But it did find, so I don't know where it pulls the information from, because it did find like Zorin OS, and I don't have Zorin OS installed anymore.
No, but Zorin OS
deleted
will still
that.
be in your boot EUFI
Right. It
So
sounds
I
like
don't
it's
know
in
where
your
it's
on your
pulling
mother
the
in your
info
BIOS.
from.
Yeah.
But it's definitely lists, like it had, I don't know, 12, 13
Mhm.
listings of what I could boot into.
In which case, what you need to do is boot into and install MX Linux and use one of their MX tools, which allows you to remove items from your motherboard's boot EFI. Because you know the EFI boot manager, they've got a nice GUI that does it for you, instead of having to go in there and going, sudo EFI boot manager -B003 minus capital B
Yeah.
plus whatever. No, on MX Linux, they've got a GUI that does that for you.
Well, as a matter of
And-
fact, Deb, MX Linux is one of those on those partitions, so I could do
We'll
that
go
easily.
and have a look. Yeah. But how I don't get involved in all of that is, before I install a new OS, I always turn off all of the other boot partitions I've got. Because Ubuntu flavors love nicking the first one they find. And invariably, the first one they find is the Windows partition. So whenever you then decide to delete Windows and reinstall it, it then mucks up all the other EUFIs that found Windows.
Well,
So
I
it's a
don't
bit
have Windows
excessive.
installed on this machine. I blew it up.
Mhm.
This is just the test machine for Linux. But I'm pretty sure I do have I'm pretty sure I do have them set to boot. They're all using the same boot partition, I think. That's why I couldn't use. Remember, I said to you about Bazzite, it wanted to delete all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want, so I had to make its own separate partition to boot from.
Yeah. But if you're going to do serious multi-booting, then I give each distro its own EUFI boot partition as well. And I turn all the others off, install it only sees the one on the hard disk that you're doing, and then it carries on.
It sounds like it is But it sounds like what that's doing is it's pulling it from the UEFI records on the on your
on the BIOS.
On the BIOS or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
On the motherboard, yeah.
The motherboard, yeah. So I'm not sure if this is relevant, but here's some of the documentation from Bazite on this for the dual boot setup and how that works. So I've read through it entirely. I'm just looking at it now, so I can't say for sure. But apparently there's some information on how that works. I've not really. Yeah, the dual boot. So the UJust, we called UJust, that apparently does this. So
yeah,
anyway.
UJust regenerate -grub. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it must pull
That's
information
great
from
info,
that.
Dale. Thank you. So it just uses the boot next option. Yeah, but I noticed that it didn't change the actual order of the system itself because I booted into Cache OS and then I rebooted back into, and Bazite is the main distro, so it didn't actually change the order for permanently. It just, so that was good.
Yeah, you have to do that manually.
But I thought I don't know. I thought this was a great feature myself.
Yeah, it was. It is. That sounds very useful. But then, how many people like you and me run 15 distros off of one hard disk?
But this is a feature just for me, Seb.
It's called the Rocco extension.
That's right.
That's a really neat. That's a really neat thing.
Now I just got to figure out how to get it in KDE because that's what I usually run. So
I'm sure there's a way to do that. I mean, because basically Bazite uses. Is it GNOME Bazite or is it, I think the Plasma? I think the Plasma Bazite would use that too. I don't know.
I wonder. Now that you say that, they did offer different ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do
So
offer all sorts. But
if I installed the Bazite KDE and it was in there, I wonder if it is in there actually. That would be the first test. Would
well,
it be?
probably is because it's part of Bazite, not the desktop.
So then it would probably be easier to figure out how to get it out of there over to Cache OS than out of GNOME, right? You would think.
Yeah, and that might be a specific GNOME feature that actually reads that and provides that information that pulls that out. I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I don't know enough about it yet. I mean, I only just started searching on it because I didn't even know about it until just now. I was, it was today that
I'm sorry. Maybe I could have given you a heads up about it, but I just found it, so I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Well, that's the whole point of open topics. You get surprised.
Yeah, I like surprise topics. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I had no idea that was even a thing. Never come up.
Yeah, and Goofball's come up with a good answer as well again in chat. Nate.
Yeah, so he says, to answer Zeb, there's probably a non-insignificant number of people dipping their toes into Linux via Bazite, but keeping Windows installed just in case. So that this feature is probably to help reduce friction for that crowd. Yeah, that sounds very reasonable.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, I guess now I'm interested in seeing what you find out on that, Rocco. I don't know if you maybe play around and
yeah, I'm gonna check into it and see what I can do with it, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm really glad you shared that. So, are there any? How many games do you play right now, Rocco, that require you to still be in Windows? You can't do it in Bazite or whatever. There's quite a few.
To be honest with you, Nate, I haven't investigated lately. What games would and wouldn't install or play on Linux. So I don't have the answer for you. I know that like Call of Duty obviously is not going to, but I don't play many of the other games that I would be hindered by. But I don't know. I feel like I use my Windows. I've always used my Windows machine as a console type thing where I boot it up to play games just like I have an Xbox. I turn it on, I play a game, and I turn it off. And that's the same thing I do with Windows. So I boot it up, I play whatever games I want, and then I shut it down. And then if I need a computer, I'm going to use my Linux computer. So, and
Gotcha.
by doing that, I have less frustration, less trying to, I got to make this game work, or whether this game, it doesn't matter anymore, because all I do on there is just play a game and shut it off then. So
you're going
I
to
don't
like
have
the
the answer to
new.
your question.
You're going to like the new feature then that allows Windows users now to boot into a full screen Xbox facility.
Believe me, Zeb.
That picks up all the games, whether they're installed via Xbox or Steam or you name it. It will list them on the left. You fire it off from the interface. You play the game. You come back to the Xbox.
I know
So
it's
it's almost
not
like having your
recommended,
own
but I've
different
been
console.
frantically hitting the Windows Update button, trying to get that update, but it's only rolled out to certain regions or whatever, so I don't have it yet. Believe me, I'll be trying that as soon as it comes, as soon as I can get it.
Insider preview, you'll get it quicker.
Yes, but I'm afraid to do the insider preview because I don't want all the other stuff that comes with the insider preview. That's why I said like that's the machine that I know that I could just boot up and it's always going to work and I can just play the games and then I can shut it down. So I don't want to join an insider preview and get things that might mess it up.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like impatiently waiting for that to come out.
That makes sense. Now, when you launch the game, if it's an Xbox game, does it launch on your PC or does it actually, how does that work?
No, it launches on the PC.
Yeah, they have their own separate, like Xbox is its own separate ecosystem. And then when you turn on a PC, you can log into your Xbox account. You can see all of your games, but it'll be playing on the PC.
Yeah, and they're not cross-play. So if you do something on the Xbox, you then can't pick up that same game on the PC and carry on where you left off. It's two totally separate games.
Okay. It's a little confusing, but I think I'm not young and hip like you guys are, so I have to try and hang on the best I can.
Well, I only know this because I've got 9 grandchildren I have to accommodate.
The latest Xbox I have is a 360, so.
Yeah, well, I don't have any now because I've given all mine away. I've just got the one PS5 next door. But all my other grandchildren have one of my older PCs, phones, gaming consoles.
I'm just
screens.
upset that Sony decided we're not going to port our games over to PC now. You know, like, come on. I was waiting to play Ghost of Yotai on PC, and now and they had it almost completely finished for PC, and then they made the choice. Oh yeah, we're not going to release it on PC.
Sony have made so many bogus decisions over the years, though. Is it any wonder?
Killing me.
But while we're on the subject of games, Nate, again, I think it was something that Aris flagged up for us. If you are a Valerant player, be very, very careful of their latest anti-cheat, because there are accusations flying around left, right and centre that it mucks about with your PC's IOM/UU settings, and therefore you then can't use them anymore until you reinstall Windows. And any data that was on those SSDs and stuff is gone.
What is this?
You're
Valorant?
muted.
What?
Valorant, and it's their new anti-cheat. And there's a real blasé statement by the company that makes Valorant, and I can't remember their name now, but it's along the lines of, well, no, we don't do anything other than make those cheating DMA machines irrelevant to our game. Yeah, but what are you doing to make them irrelevant? They say they're doing nothing that can harm the hardware, and yet you've got people that say that they've got machines set up, and I think some motherboards use IOUM, whatever the an acronym is, to set up to reduce your voltage and increase the efficiency of the game. So just because you've sped up your CPU, are Valorant now accusing you of cheating because you're using IOMUU? It was just, and there's no definitive statement. Hang on, let me go and have a look over here. If you just Google,
I just wonder how accurate all of the statements are, like from both sides. You know, like from the people. You know, like, is it just that they're doing? Is it just that they're messing with the voltage, or do they actually have other things running? And then from the company side, are they really just doing it this way and not messing with regular PCs? Like,
yeah. Well, here's one simple
I just feel like
example.
there could be a lot of misinformation.
Oh, of course, it's all he said, she said, they said, whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing that I didn't like about it, and I'll let Nate read it off of that statement, is the bit where he talks about there have been a wave of claims. So if you can start from there and listen to what Valerant say, Riot Games, that's who it is.
Oh, whenever it loads in here. It says,
yeah, it's taking a while on mine to load in. Yeah.
Yeah. It says Valerant's anti-cheat. I'll start reading it here. I'll wait till it pops up. It says Valerant's anti-cheat appears to be bricking hackers' PCs, but Riot doesn't care about your $6,000 paperweight.
Yeah, so that's the clickbait title. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna unshare it and then reshare. Maybe it's just this happened earlier. Silly. Something.
Gotta love live streaming.
I do. It was better when you were in charge.
No.
There's probably some advert blocker that's not going to work, Nate. So just read it off the webpage, mate.
All right. So let's see. Riot Games anti-cheat software. Vanguard is proven incredibly effective at stopping cheaters in games like League of Legends and Valorant, but it does so by rooting into your operating system. A major anxiety raised by players over kernel level anti-cheat, such as this, is how it could potentially leave them exposed to security breaches from hackers. Riot, however, has maintained a blasé attitude to these worries, and the newest update appears to have gone a step further by bricking cheaters' PCs. As pointed out by ex-user Ogisada, I guess, by PC Games. The anti-cheat is now allegedly more aggressive, targeting the software used to disguise cheats on your machine even after uninstalling Valorant, meaning that the only fix is to reinstall your OS. VGK suddenly triggered an IOMMU restart warning in-game, after which the DMA firmware becomes completely unusable and without the game running, they explained. So too drastic? Well, let me see if I can try share this thing again here.
Yeah, but if you read a bit, if you read a bit at the top there where it says that's in like the box, it says there have been a wave of claims by cheaters about Valorant bricking their PCs. But to be clear, Valorant does not damage hardware or disable drivers, they said. Our latest update enforces standard platform security features like Input-Output Memory Management Unit, IOMMU, on accounts identified as using direct memory access cheating devices. These protections are already part of the modern systems, and when enabled, they block DMA cheat devices, such as those shown in the photo, from accessing memory in downstream application like our games. But then they go on to say with a statement like, but we don't care. We're just making them irrelevant to Riot Games and Valorant. But they don't tell you how they're making them irrelevant and what they're physically doing to people's machines, because these are at the kernel level. You have to agree to allow them to install this anti-cheat into your kernel. And again, for me, in a simplistic format, it's a shocking indictment that the company doesn't defend themselves with more vigorous information about exactly what is this anti-cheat doing.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's somehow it kind of seems like malware to me, honestly. The way it sort of wedges itself in there at the kernel level. So I don't know. I guess that's pretty wild, really. But I don't know. I think it's another reason. I mean, that would actually that's a deal breaker for me as far as like what would get me to not play a game is essentially requiring this sort of level of anti-cheat. And I know
Yeah.
that obviously there's some argument here as to whether or not it's actually happening, but just the fact that it installs
Well, even so,
by root job, I mean, really, this makes me. To me, it feels like this is malware, honestly, because it's behaving in such a
yeah,
way that can
they're
damage the PC.
installing stuff into your Windows kernel
Mhm.
that you can't see what they're doing unless you're an absolute genius whiz.
Right. Yeah. So I guess what's going to happen from that? I wonder. Like, what's the what the fallout is going to be? That's a different game.
So that is a different game.
I don't know. Good question.
So it's just as well I only play World of Warships and Euro Trucks.
Well, to be honest with you, I've gone away from games like that because no matter what the companies have tried to do, and I kind of have a soft spot for this because so many times the community of players will be upset that the company that's making the game is not doing enough. So they're trying to do something. I don't know if it's right or not. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they should do it better. But they're at least trying to do something about the cheaters that are in the game. And that's kind of why I go away from games like this, is because of the cheaters. Like
No, you just
even
don't
Call
like
of Duty.
You just don't like being owned by a 10-year-old, Rocco. That's what it is.
I mean, that's also true, Zeb. That's also true. That's very, very infuriating. But no, but it's one of those things where no matter, you can sit down and play a game like Call of Duty or like Valorant, and I guarantee you, within a couple hours, you're going to be in a lobby with someone who's cheating.
Yeah.
Even though they have all of these anti-cheat things and they got all this stuff running, it's like the cat and mouse game. You're never going to stop it completely, and that's why I've kind of gone away from games like that to like co-op games that I play with one other person, two other people, or whatever.
Yeah, look at the new Battlefield. I don't remember what we're up to now, but the new Battlefield had a preview weekend or something like that, beta, and there were more videos of people cheating than there were of just straight
Playing the game
gameplay.
properly, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it had all these, kernel level anti-cheats installed on it. They said they're not going to release it to Linux because too many people use Linux to cheat, and there were more cheat videos than there were straight videos.
I love that argument, though, that we're not going to release it for Linux because too many Linux people cheat. You don't make your games run on Linux anyway, so how are they cheating if you're not making the game run for Linux? Like, it's dumb. I think that whole argument is dumb.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
agree.
catch 22, chicken and egg kind of thing. It's a bogus argument, but that's what they say.
I think they just can't handle the coolness of Linux users. That's the real problem.
Agreed.
Like, well, these guys are just too cool for our school.
This is why we need more retro games. Nate.
I mean, you're not wrong. So, I play a lot of Minecraft with my kids, and my youngest son likes to cheat
Dude,
all
I
the
love
time,
Minecraft.
and I just deal with it. Like, whatever. He's gonna use some code on me that's gonna make me like appear, 300 blocks above the surface, and I'm gonna die. He'll just do it. Just teleport me to my death. Yeah, he's done that a few times. I like whatever. It's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder obviously the Valorant. Who's the company that makes Valorant? or is Valerant the company name?
Riot Games.
Riot Games. It does
Riot
seem
Games,
like,
yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, like, long term here, with the whole cheating thing, with the increase. I know although Zeb likes to argue it, with the increased popularity of Linux, because some people are using Linux more and more, except he says they're not. I wonder if it's going to have an effect on these different anti-cheat systems, because you can't get a kernel level anti-cheat with Linux unless, do you think maybe Valve is going to basically allow for certain, I don't know, strange.
Well, it's all the live service games, so like Call of Duty, Valorant, Fortnite, that kind of thing. That's not going to work on Linux. All the other games are starting to work on Linux. You have to maybe jump through a few hoops to get it to run, but it's all
There's-
of the live service games.
There's a lot of
Right.
anti-cheat that actually has a Linux option that they just don't turn on when they're porting the game over. They could port it to Linux, turn that option on, and it would run fine. But some of them just don't.
And I tell you who's just done it. Rocket League have introduced an anti-cheat method, easy anti-cheat that runs on Linux.
Yep.
So
Easy
if
anti-cheat,
Rocket-
one of those.
Yeah, if Rocket League can do it, why can't the others do it?
Easy anti-cheat's one of those that has the option to just check the box and you have it set for Linux. And they didn't want to do it for a long time. And maybe Linux is getting popular enough now to turn some heads. I don't know.
Well, I think Rocket League will help them, because that seems to be still quite a popular game that people play. So let's wait and see what happens with that.
I still play it.
I think it started out usable in Linux and then they stopped letting it be usable in Linux. Isn't that one of those?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I thought so.
It originally worked for Linux, yes.
Yeah.
So, from this site, are we anti-cheat yet? Looks like 194% are supported games, I guess you could say. So Halo Master Chief Collection supported. That's easy anti-cheat. Yeah. Fortnite also uses easy anti-cheat, but it's been denied. It's a good place to kind of just check things out here. Are there any particular games we're interested in knowing?
No, but I would like to know what the deal is with the Steam machine. Is the Steam machine going to be able to play Call of Duty with an anti-cheat? Is it going to be able to play Valorant with an anti-cheat?
Well, it looks like
I
Call of
think that's
Duty
still a
Black
work in
Ops
progress.
Probably
3,
not.
yes. Modern Warfare
I think it's still a work in progress.
Warzone broken. Cold War broken, but a bunch of them are supported. Vanguard broken. Modern Warfare 2 broken. Modern Warfare 3
And
broken.
the funny thing is that all of those you're reading that are broken, they will run in Linux, and it's the anti-cheat that keeps it from working.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, correct. And most of them, the single player will run fine. The multiplayer won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what's interesting though is this Treyarch anti-cheat. It's broken for Black Ops 6, but the same one, it's working here for World at War. Black Ops 7 denied. Ricochet. Yeah, well.
But the good news is we've got people like Glorious Eggroll and Matthew over at Valve that are helping build workarounds to all of these games that won't allow you to play. Because I know I've seen some recent stuff where I think Battlefield 6 can play on Linux, but you've really got to know what you're doing. Not Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty, but you've really got to know what you're doing. It's like, do the hokey cokey, turn around 3 times, touch the grass and kiss your second auntie or something. But, people like Glorious Eggroll have got it running. Well, of course they have, because guy's a genius. It's us that need to be able to do it simply.
And he's a super nice guy too. I got to meet him, Glorious Eggroll. Super nice guy. I called him Mr. Glorious. He wasn't so sure about that.
The thing I like about him as well is for somebody who is so damn clever, he's so humble. He doesn't think of
Yeah.
himself as that way. He's just trying to do it for the community.
Yeah. And he enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually so funny how like the GE Proton is now ubiquitous. Like so many people don't even know what GE stands for, but you'll see like some people talking about getting games working in Linux,
Yeah.
and they don't even say that it's from Glorious Egg Roll. You know, the whatever.
They just say use GE Proton, yeah.
Yeah, it's just literally just so such commonplace that his work is spread like it has. Pretty cool. Yeah. Well, it is that time for. Well, let me get to housekeeping here real quick before we get the last call. Thank you so much for joining, being a part of this. We got a news flight night coming up later on tonight. I know Zeb typically isn't here because we're breaking into a sleep time, so won't see you tonight. But thank you so much for being here today. And so tonight will be a news flight night on Linux Saloon, and yeah, we'll talk. We have got a bunch of news topics. Eris has kind of stacked it already. Try and get through as many as possible. I'll try this feed here. Like, how'd that work out? Did the having the article up was that a good move? Did that actually benefit at all, or is
When it loaded, it was great.
Yeah, it's loaded now. This time, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the trick is
Rocco. Don't be mean. It was only the one thing that never loaded.
Yeah. So, but the weird thing was,
it's great.
It wouldn't load one browser window, but would load another one. I just load a different browser window. So I don't know. That's got to be a
Yeah. With that other one, you obviously had some advert blockers or something.
Something I don't know. So maybe when I bring up if I bring it up, it stays up. It's if I bring it up and down, that's when it seems to have a fit. So I won't do that. Sounds like a Linux issue, not a Discord issue. Maybe with Pipewire's having a leak or somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, also, if you have any discussion suggestions, distribution, application, appetizer suggestions, anything that they think would be as a benefit to the conversation here, you can send them to suggestions@linuxsaloon.com, or you can tag Eris or myself in the Telegram or Discord group. That would be cool. And also tonight I'll dig into the straw poll about see what the where it comes to on the how important the rollback, or whether or not the rollback feature is something of interest, a thumbs up or thumbs down, or if it's important to you, I should say, that interest. All right, and we're going to hop into the last call. Dale.
Yeah, I'm still being a slacker. I'm still doing too many things, and the Linux is getting put on the back burner. I do have a 3-day weekend this weekend, so I'm hoping to do a few things this weekend, start getting some videos going again.
Sweet. I get it. When the weather gets nice, it's actually kind of nice to go outside and do things, But when it's raining, I'm all Linux, or maybe London.
Same.
I don't know. So,
and it's my 50+ hour a week job, and now that it's pretty, the greenhouse is running, so I'm helping to that. And stepdaughter's got a new business that's kind of warm weather related, and I'm helping with that. And
of course you are.
It's a lot, yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
I enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
Rocco.
Nate. Hey, man, I just want to say thank you for having this, because this is fantastic, especially the early. I would love to show up for the 8 o'clock version, but I don't. It's just a bad time for me nowadays. But this is fantastic because I can show up and geek out and have some fun and talk with people. So I appreciate it, man.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I'm trying to find the keys here to hand you back the keys of the castle here, but I can't find the keys.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So I want to throw this in there real quick. The very first time I ever got in a group chat that was live, I'm pretty sure was the very last show that you did, Rocco. And I
Yeah.
thought, this is going to be cool. I'll join this every time. And then, boom,
And
it wasn't there anymore.
Boom, it just went away. I'm
And then
sorry.
Nate, no, don't be sorry. I know how it is. And then Nate started this one up. So I've gotten into almost all of them.
Yeah, in retrospect, I would have done some things way different when I started picking it up now. Like now that I'm like however many years it is been doing it, I would have done a bunch of things different. But here we are. I'm
That's
kind of
life.
stuck now. It is. Which, by the way, I have gone back and watched some Biddles for like inspiration because sometimes I need that. Like, how can I be more Rocco?
No,
I'm not
you
trying to
don't need to
glaze
be
you,
more
but I'm
me.
just saying.
You just be you, man. You're doing great.
You got to grow the hair out for a start.
The hair is growing gray, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, mine is too, which is actually why I keep it short so you can't see the gray, especially on the sides here. It's getting pretty lightening up, but Gen X. Zeb, glad you can make it.
No, I always enjoy these, as you say, these midday streams for you and 6 o'clock for me because it's a more humane, sensible hour. And yeah, it's bitten into a little bit of my sleep time, so I won't be able to make it tonight. But it now seems that I have the task of keeping Quark OS running so that I can report to you guys on Saturday the 30th at the 1 a.m. issue how I've done and how has it performed and what didn't I like, what did I like, what did I break, what didn't I break. So I'm just going to just continue to try and use it, and I'll give you an update.
Sweet. I look forward to that because it'd be interesting to just hear how it kind of shakes out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Eris, thanks for being here.
Yes.
Good times.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you.
I see that there's a bunch of news topics. How many think we'll actually get through tonight? I want to do more than 4. That's the goal.
As many as you want.
Yeah, and then what do you think of that? Do you having that window of the news stuff is that a good way to go with it? I think that's I'm just kind of curious what your thought is. Okay.
I think that's good.
Okay. Cool. Then we'll do that again tonight. Well,
You're
thanks for being
streaming
here.
at 1440p?
Well, that's what it says, but I don't know why it would be. It must be picking up something from somewhere. I have no idea how that works. Maybe is there an adjustment on that?
What, on YouTube?
Oh, wait, stream quality. Oh, there is. I can do. All right, I'm just gonna click on source.
You're doing
On
1080.
Discord.
Oh, on Discord. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
All right, and then we'll do. So I do 30 FPS.
Yeah, there's no need for 60 FPS for.
Yeah. Why do I need 60 FPS for a news article? I can do 15 FPS. Really, look at that. Still just as well.
15. Yeah, is 15 is for reading text. 30 is for talking and interacting with people. Yeah.
And what's 60 for?
Showing
Gaming?
off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want to display some gaming or just showing off. Because if you get the 60 FPS, then you must have lots of server boosts. So come on, people out there, if you want to help us here on the Destination Linux show, start jumping on there and giving us a few server boosts. And then Nate can produce fancier looking stuff.
Maybe. There's 3 boosts already. I don't even know what that means.
I did boost it, but I don't know what I did. So
yeah, we're at level 1. So 100 emoji slots, 24 soundboard slots, animated server icon, and better audio quality. That's important, I think. Better audio quality, and more. Well, sweet. Well, again, thanks for being here, Zeb and Eris. Oh, also, full scale for me. You don't have to speak if you don't want to. It's up to you.
Nothing new going on here.
Except all that work you're doing on MX Linux.
We're still checking to see the latest Debian update didn't break anything for the new ISOs.
Oh, good. Fantastic. You're doing the important hard work out there. Mike.
Yes, sir.
We made it to Friday. We're already past to Saturday.
Oh, TGIS. Yeah, it's been a busy week. I hadn't had much free time to work on side projects, but I've been like I told you last week. I think I've been working on a local AI solution to query documentation.
Okay.
And that's coming along pretty good. I've got an EC2 stood up on AWS and using it as a test bed. It seems to be working okay. It's a little touchy, still, but I think we're getting there.
Do you offend the AI? Is that what happens? Is that why it's touchy? It's all upset.
I'm sorry, what?
Does the AI get all upset and offended by something you do? Is that why
No,
it's
I think it's just the mixture of all the different tools being used makes it a little touchy. So.
Got you.
But your joke was not wasted on me, believe me.
Yeah,
Oh, the other thing too, I've been doing for personal reasons I won't go into, but I've been trying to get away from VS Code, and I've been working on learning NeoVim. I used to use Vim many years ago at a very basic level, but I'm trying to replicate my work environment in NeoVim, and it's going okay so far, just slow. So.
Cool. Well, I hope that's whatever it is, it's fruitful. Whether it's I'm going with NeoVim or not, but I hope it's a fruitful exercise.
Yeah. I mean, I love VS Code. I've used it for many since it came out, as a matter of fact. But I'm just done with Microsoft. I just can't do it anymore. So
I got it.
They've ruined GitHub for everybody. So it's time to jump ship.
They have a tendency to ruin a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
It does seem to be
didn't GitHub get hacked?
Well, yeah, yes. Someone got a virus installed on their machine, and they had access to like 300 and some odd workstations of the GitHub employees. So it was not pretty, and they've been having a lot of problems with their workflows. They're constantly breaking. They always say it used to be rock stable, but since Microsoft's taken it over, it's just slowly gone downhill. So
probably being programmed by AI. That's why.
Probably. A lot of bugs.
I don't really feel like anything went sour until last maybe a couple of years. I felt like it's been fine for quite a while, and then but I mean, I'm not a heavy user of GitHub.
Well, at a basic level, it's been fine, but if you use any of the tools to like the deployment tools or anything like that, they've just turned into garbage. They're not reliable. They break most of the time, more often than not. So people are they're fleeing GitHub right now. So, and then that hack just kind of sealed the deal for most people, including myself. So.
Yeah, you have at least Marklight is on GitLab, right?
Yeah, GitLab's what I use mostly for all my. I have a few just small side projects on GitHub, but
okay.
But yeah, all my real stuff, I use GitLab. So.
Got it. Well, cool. And
so
thanks for being here.
That's what I've been up. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know what? It was a special treat. I had to stay home to wait for the yard guy today.
Oh.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to go see those guys again, twice in one day.
Hot dog.
Oh, and by the way, one other thing before you move on. everybody listening, be sure and check out Nate's website and sign up as a Patreon. I mean, even if you're only giving $1 a month, you're helping. So be sure and do that. So
yeah, I don't push that. I don't. You have to do good. I think you have to do good work to earn that. I think.
You do good work.
Okay. Yes, you do.
All right.
So.
Well, thank you. We'll agree to disagree. But thank you. Yeah, you can visit the website, look around, see if there's anything of interest. There's some untidy bits because as time goes on, things get untidy, and then you got to kind of clean it up. It gets untidy. It's weird how digital stuff can even do that. And then we haven't heard from you at all, but Sharpest, you don't have to speak if you don't want to, but thanks for showing your Roblox avatar. Maybe listening. Don't know where you're from in the world, but thanks for being here. And yeah, much appreciated. All right, so I'd like to thank you all for your support. However you do it. Oh, I just want to plug one more thing. So the Linux User Space been releasing some broken up bits of their podcast, and they're talking to Nate Graham about KDE OS or KDE, Plasma, KDE Plasma OS.
Linux.
Yeah, KDE Linux, and it's a very good conversation for one. But what's interesting is how they have an immutable setup for KDE OS, and how the part that really stuck out to me the most was they're actually tying their /etc with some of their, like the rollbacks. They can actually have multiple versions of etc too. So if you make some changes, you can actually, those are going to be tied to the snapshots as well, and they can roll them back. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if you caught that. Also, they're working on a Delta update. So instead of having to download like the 7 gigs or whatever for the OS, it's actually going to be able to do chunks. So break it down in chunks. So you actually get the immutable OS in pieces, and reduce, instead of downloading gigs of information, maybe just a few hundred meg. So I thought that was also really cool. Anyway, so check that out, linuxuserspace.show, and the interview with Nate Graham, that was very, very interesting. So anyway, check that out. So thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation, both the Discord meeting here, the YouTube stream, as well as for everyone who watched the show after the fact. I also want to thank everyone involved in making the Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy our technology. Linux truly puts personal back into personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip your developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time. See yous.
Bye for now.